Hi team, I hope you're all well. Today is the 1st of November, so I am going to do my October wrap up. In the month of October I actually did pretty well, I think, compared to September. Yeah, I think I did a bit shit in September. So in the month of October I read 21 books, which is pretty good. I had quite a lot of 5 and 4 star reads actually in the month of November, so just in general the month was a pretty good month. I also completed Supernaturalathon. I read for all 10 prompts, which was really good. My first ever readathon that I've hosted. I didn't get involved and interactive as much with the people that were taking part in the readathon as I'd have liked to, but I'm hoping to maybe do so next year. I am going to put a questionnaire up on Supernaturalathon's Twitter and see if people want it to come back, if they want anything to be different, if they want me to add anything or whatever. So going to see how that goes. I also took part in the Spookathon. I only managed, although to be fair, I pretty much managed all of them. I just didn't manage to read all of the books I picked in theory, but the other books that I did read could cover the other prompts that I didn't get to. I also took part in Gilmore Girls Readathon and I completed all the prompts for that as well. So yeah, as I go through and tell you the books that I've read, I will let you know if they cover a prompt for any of the readathons that I took part in. I also took part in Dewey's 24-hour readathon. The reading vlog for that has gone up now, and I read 5 books during that readathon. I also read a few pages from 2 more books I think as well, so did all right with that as well, which is pretty good. If I'm looking down, it's because I'm looking at my bullet journal. It's got all my information that I need. So yeah, let's get started because there's 20 books to go through here. I'm not going to go through what each of the books is about because we'll be here all day. You'll probably know what most of them are about anyway. I might do like a brief, very brief, what it's about kind of thing. So let's get to it. Yes, there is tinsel behind my head with a Noel sign. I am starting to record my Vlogmas videos, so this is about the only Christmas decoration I can put up until like the 2nd week in Christmas, because I'm having my 30th birthday party and my mum will not allow me to put my Christmas decorations up until after my birthday, which normally she doesn't get away with because I live on my own. I could do what I want, but this year she's right, I need the space. So this is the only Christmas decoration I can put up for now, for my Vlogmas videos. So any pre-recorded ones, these are the decorations you'll be seeing. You'll know which ones I've pre-recorded. So let's get into it. The first book that I completed in the month of October was Nevernight by J. Christoph. I really enjoyed this. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. I am continuing the series. I was meant to be reading God's Grave this month as well, but I just did not get round to it, which is a shame. So I'm hoping to read that in November, and also Dark Dawn in November as well. I wanted to read these like one after the other, but because I am listening to them on audio, I know I might get a bit of don't at me for that, but because they're quite hefty books, it was a lot to take in. There's a lot of stuff going on. There are footnotes and stuff in this, so it is a lot to take in. I couldn't do it back to back to back, so I'm hoping to maybe do God's Grave and Dark Dawn back to back, but we'll see. I don't know. They're quite long. Really enjoyed this. Gave it 4 out of 5 stars. We really enjoyed it. I picked up Pumpkinheads by Rainbow Rowell and Faith Erin Hicks. This is a graphic novel which is following 2 characters, Deja and Josiah. She calls him Jose, and they're best friends, but only in such a sense that they see each other every year when they go to the pumpkin patch that they work at. So they've been going 4 years and they are about to complete their final year before they go off to college, and they're a bit gutted because they don't want to leave each other and they don't want to leave the pumpkin patch. Jose's had his eye on a girl within the pumpkin patch for a long time now, and Deja's trying to help him get through the last shift at work by making it a bit more of an adventure. It's so cute. The illustrations are adorable. I had such a blast reading this. It didn't take long at all, but it was just so much fun. I absolutely love this. I think this is going to become one of those reads, you know, where you read it once a year, every year around about this time. So it was gorgeous. Absolutely loved it. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. This also fulfilled the prompt for Dean Winchester, which was to read a graphic novel, manga or comic for Supernaturalathon. It also fulfilled the prompt for read a cozy book set during fall or winter for Gilmore Girls Readathon. So perfect, it completed 2 prompts for 2 different readathons. Next I picked up Lock and Key Volume 5, which is Clockworks. This is a series, graphic novel series that I've been following for a while now by Joe Hill and Gabriel Rodriguez. Joe Hill is Stephen King's son. I say that every time. I've given this 4 out of 5 stars. It's really, really good. I've got 1 graphic novel left to finish now to complete this series. It's getting intense. There is a lot going on. People are starting to die now. We're getting more of the backstory to this. So yeah, really enjoying this. This fulfilled the prompt to read the next in a series for Gilmore Girls Readathon. So obviously it's the 5th one in the series, so obviously it's the next in the series. Then I read Talking as Fast as I Can by Lauren Graham. I adored this. I listened to it on audiobook. Lauren Graham narrates it herself. She's fantastic and I absolutely love her. I have become extremely obsessed since taking part in Gilmore Girls Readathon. I started watching Gilmore Girls. I was just going to watch the first season, see how I liked it, but I flew through it. I have been doing Gilmore Girls watching vlogs as well to get my reaction as I'm going along, because a few of you seem to think that that would be a really good idea, and I'm glad about it because you've all reacted very, very well to it. But this book is fantastic. This is Lauren Graham talking about her life, just in general, growing up, her life in Gilmore Girls, her life in other shows that she's done, and her relationship with Peter. I've forgotten his name, but he's in 911. I had no idea she was with him. She's been with him a very long time, but I adored this. It was fantastic. Lauren Graham is absolutely everything. I've given this 5 out of 5 stars. This was the group book for Gilmore Girls Readathon, so that's the prompt that fulfilled. Then I read Undead Girl Gang by Lily Anderson. I really enjoyed this. This was fantastic. This is following a teenage Wiccan called Mila, and her best friend Riley and 2 of the mean girls in school have died under suspicious circumstances, but people think it's just been like a suicidal pact or something, and Mila wants to find out what the hell's going on and what has caused all of this. So she brings her best friend and the 2 mean girls, accidentally the 2 mean girls, but she was meant to bring only her best friend, back to life and find out what the hell is going on. It's a really, really good story. I've really enjoyed this. It was very, very good. I listened to it on audio. I love the cover of this book. I think it's absolutely stunning, and I gave this 5 out of 5 stars. It was very, very good. This fulfilled the prompt for read a book with a school setting. Obviously she is a school girl, so yeah, I've really, really enjoyed it. 5 out of 5 stars. I've been meaning to pick this up for ages actually, and I just thought this season would be perfect for it, so very, very happy with that. Then I read Emilia Finder and the Barbaric Society. I do not own this, so I will show a picture here. I gave this 4 out of 5 stars. It was pretty good. I listened to it on audio. It's the first in a series, and it fulfilled the prompt for read a book with food on the cover or involved somewhere. So this the cover obviously is Emilia Finder holding a pumpkin. The pumpkin is actually a pet, but a pumpkin is still food, so it counts. Then I read Wild Like Me by Louise Pentland. This I absolutely adored. I gave this 5 out of 5 stars. I thought it was fantastic. I physically read this, but I think I'm going to listen to the next 2 in the series, which is Wild About the Girl and Wild Women, and I just thought it was really, really good. We're following Robin Wilde, who is a mother. She is a youngish mother, and I think she's like early 30s maybe, and she's got a daughter called Lila Blue, and her daughter is 6 or 7 years old. She's an aspiring makeup artist, and she's single, obviously. It follows her being a mother. It follows her in single parenthood, it follows her in dating, it follows her with her work, it also follows her through depression as well, and it's just very, very good. I've related to this on so many different levels. Obviously not the single motherhood, because I'm not a mother, but I related to her on the dating side of things, I related to her just on life in general, I related to her with the job side of things, I related to her with the depression side of things. This was really good book. It was hitting home quite a lot for me, so I think it was a really good time for me to read this, to be honest. This has been on my shelves for the longest time, but it was a really good time for me to read it. Really enjoyed it. It was 5 out of 5 stars for me. It was perfect. This fulfilled the prompt for read a book involving a mother-daughter relationship. I didn't think this was going to involve mother-daughter relationship as much as it did actually, so it was perfect for this prompt for Gilmore Girls Readathon, so that was really good. Then I read The Fill-In Boyfriend by Casey West. This is the first Casey West book that I've picked up, and I've really enjoyed it. It was so good. I love Casey West's writing. I gave this 5 out of 5 stars again. I've then gone and bought a load of other Casey West books because I just really enjoyed this so much. This is obviously a fake dating trope, and it turns out I love this trope, so I'm very excited to read some more of those. Fulfilled the prompt for Bobby for Supernaturalathon, which was to read a book with family dynamics in it. This has got a lot of family dynamics. We're following Gia's family, and we're also following fake Bradley's family as well. And it also fulfilled the prompt for Gilmore Girls Readathon to read a complicated love interest, obviously fake dating. Which is pretty complicated if you ask me. Then I read The Rose Society by Marie Lu. This is the second in the Young Elites series. I really loved the Young Elites, but I wasn't a fan of this, to be fair. I gave it 2.5 stars, which is shocking. I just didn't care. I didn't care about the characters, which is weird because I cared about them in the first one. I didn't care about the story. I'm not even fully sure what happened in this. I don't care. So I don't know whether I'm going to bother moving on to Midnight Star or whether I'm just going to stop the series. I mean, Midnight Star's the last one, so it would make sense just to finish it off, but I just don't really know. I don't really care. Fulfilled the prompt to read a book with Asian rep or by an Asian author. So Marie Lu is American, but obviously she's of Asian descent. So yeah, 2.5 stars. I was gutted about that because I really was so excited to continue with that series. Then I read Descender Volume 4. I am loving this series. This is another graphic novel. And this is a sci-fi graphic novel. We are really good, really enjoying the series. The third one was probably my favourite so far because I really enjoyed the way that they did that one. But I still gave this 4 out of 5 stars. It was very good. This fulfilled the prompt for Crowley for Supernaturalathon to read a book with the letter that begins with the letter D. It also fulfilled the prompt for Spookathon to read a book with red on the cover, so it's got bits of red all over it, which is great. Next I read Stalking Jack the Ripper by Kerry Maniscalco. I loved this. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. I listened to it on audio, and I've now bought Hunting Prince Dracula and Escape from Houdini. Is that what the third one's called? I need to get the fourth one, whose name I can never ever remember. But yeah, I'm really excited about this. Like I say, I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. It's very good. I filled the prompts for Lucifer in Supernaturalathon to read a book with a villain you love. The person who ends up being Jack the Ripper in this, I had no idea, did not see it coming, and I adored the character up until that point, so for me that counted. It also counted for Spookathon to read a thriller, and yeah, that was it. So this was for Spookathon. To be fair, it can also count for spooky word in the title. I think Stalking and Jack the Ripper are spooky words, to be fair. All of them spooky words. And also spooky setting. It's pretty spooky, to be fair. So yeah, really enjoyed that. Do recommend the series. Obviously I've only read the first one but so far, but still recommend the series. Then I read The Girl in the Locked Room by Mary Downing Han. This is a middle grade ghost story. It was I really enjoyed it actually. I thought it was really good. I listened to it on audio again and I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. It was pretty good. We're following a young girl called Jules who is her dad does up properties, basically buys them up, does them up, they live in them while they're doing them up and then sells them, and they move around the country, and Jules is just desperate for them to settle down somewhere because she really wants to make friends and go to school permanently and things like that. Jules loves to read, and one day she spots a like figure in one of the windows of the old house that that her dad's renovating, and she's convinced it's a ghost, and there is a ghost that is locked in the room. and Jules starts to investigate with a friend that she meets at the library one day to find out what is going on and see if they can help the poor girl that has been locked in this room for a very, very long time. It's really, really, I want to say cute, but obviously it's like a middle grade horror. It was quite frightening at times, but I really enjoyed it. I thought it was so, so good. Really, really enjoyed it. This fulfilled the prompt for wouldn't normally read. I wouldn't normally read horror to begin with, but I've never read middle grade horror before, so that was pretty good, and don't think it fulfilled anything else. So yeah, it was really good. I really enjoyed that one actually. Then I read Serpent and Dove by Shelby Mahurin. I think that's how you pronounce that. This is following Lou and Reed. Lou is a witch. Reed is a witch hunter. He is the man of the church, a man of the church, and they end up getting married because of something that happens. It's not by choice, obviously. Reed has no idea that Lou is a witch, and this just sort of follows them on their journey. There is quite a bit of politics in this with the church and with obviously witch hunters and the witches. There is also a love story in this, and I just really, really enjoyed this. I thought it was very, very good. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. I listened to it on audio. I really loved the banter between Lou and Reed once they got into it. I loved the sexual tension. I just thought it was really, really good. I know there have been a lot of mixed reviews on this, so I'm glad I enjoyed it. This is up the Fairly edition as well. It's gorgeous. But yeah, this fulfilled the prompt for Rowena to read a book with witches, and that is it. I really, really enjoyed it. Very, very good book. Next I read Girls of Storm and Shadow by Natasha Young. This is the second in the Girls of Paper and Fire series. This comes out on the 5th of November, so keep your eyes open. And I am part of the blog tour. I will have my review going up on the 8th of November. Again, keep your eyes open for that. And I gave this 4 out of 5 stars. Thought it was really good. I enjoyed Girls of Paper and Fire. I gave that 5 out of 5 stars when I read that last year. So I've given this 4 out of 5 stars. This continues on straight from the first book, and it follows Lee and Ren on their journey to escape. I don't know what to say without spoiling it. It just basically follows straight on from Girls of Paper and Fire, and I do highly recommend it. There is a third in the series, which I didn't know when I was going into this. It was really, really good. Really enjoyed it. 4 out of 5 stars. This fulfilled the prompt for Jodie with a strong female MC. You've got Lee, you've got Ren, there's Nita. There are lots of strong female MCs in this, and yeah, that's the only one that fulfilled for. But yeah, it was really, really good. Did enjoy it. Do recommend it. Then I read Wayward Son by Rainbow Rowell. This is the second in the Simon Snow series, the first one being Carry On. I really enjoyed this as well. I just thought it was so, so good. It did take me a while to get through though. Similar with Girls of Storm and Shadow, it took me ages to get through. I gave this 4 out of 5 stars. I think I gave Carry On 5 out of 5 stars. Again, there is a third one coming out. Carry On, My Wayward Son is the first line of the chorus for a song by Kansas called Carry On. I think it's just called Carry On. And funnily enough, I put this on my TBR because as I'd completely forgotten, but funnily enough, Carry On My Wayward Son is the theme song for Supernatural, so obviously it had to be a part of Supernaturalathon. This fulfilled the prompts for Charlie with an LGBTQIA+ rep. We are following Simon and Baz and Penelope. They go to America to go and visit Agatha, and trouble ensues, obviously. It ends on a really good cliffhanger, and I believe the third in the series is going to be called Anyway the Wind Blows, which is actually the last line. Yeah, the last line in a Queen song. So very, very good. Really enjoy that is a thing. And yeah, that's the only prompt it fulfilled for Charlie for Supernaturalathon. Then I read Cinders and Sparks, Fairies in the Forest, which is the second in the Cinders and Sparks series. I listened to this on audio. Absolutely fantastic. 1,000,000% recommend. 5 out of 5 stars. I will show a picture of it here. I read the first earlier on this year. The third will be coming out in February, I believe. And I love this. This is by Lindsay Kelk. Lindsay Kelk is my favourite author of all time. She did the I Heart series. She also did the About a Girl series. I love all of her books, and this is the first middle grade series that she's done, and I think she's done a fantastic job with it. This is hilarious. In the first book we meet Cinders and her dog Sparks. Sparks can talk, and she obviously has evil stepmother. She's got some evil stepsisters, and it is essentially the Cinderella retelling, but in middle grade form. In the second one we come across some other characters from other fairy tales. So we've got Rapunzel, we've got Hansel from Hansel and Gretel, I think we've got some others as well, can't fully remember, but it's really, really good, and I do recommend it. The adventures are just so cute, and I just find the audiobooks hilarious. The narrators are fantastic, and I just can't recommend it enough. Honestly, I'm completely in love with it. I just think it's perfect. So this fulfills the prompt for Cass for read a book with a sassy side character in Supernatural. Sparks is a sassy side character. He's obsessed with sausages. The horse is a sassy side character. There's loads of sassy side characters in this. That's the only prompt it fulfills. So then next I also read that during Dewey's 24-hour readathon as well, just to let you know. Next I read 'Twas the Night Shift Before Christmas by Adam Kay. This is not following on, it's not part of a series necessarily, but Adam Kay did This Is Going to Happen last year, and it was fantastic. Again, listen to it on audio because Adam narrated it himself and he is a comedian, so I just thought it would be perfect to listen to it on audio. Similar thing with this, absolutely perfect. I completely loved it. It's very small compared to This Is Going to Hurt. I just wanted so much more from it. I will sort of mention that there is one story in here that Adam does kind of mention in the beginning that is not going to be for everybody. It is very hard hitting, it's extremely emotional, and I would just be aware of that. But this is following some more of Adam's diaries of his time as a junior doctor, but during the Christmas period. So I think it covers a 4-year period of when he was a junior doctor, but he shifts over Christmas, and during that time how his family and relationships dealt with that as well. Very, very good. 5 out of 5 stars. I absolutely loved this. The only prompt that this went for was during Dewey's 24-hour readathon. It was no prompt, to be honest, it was just during the readathon, but I really, really recommend it. It was fantastic. Then I read Land of Raw by Jenny McLachlan. I absolutely loved this. I thought it was brilliant. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. I did start off reading the book, but then went on to the audio, which was just such a good idea because the narration was fantastic. I really, really enjoyed it. There is a second one coming out in September next year called Return. Well, I don't know if it's called Return to Raw, but it just says Return to Raw in the back of the book, and I really, really liked this. Again, doesn't fit a prompt or anything, but did read this during Dewey's 24-hour readathon, and I really, really loved it. 4 out of 5 stars. I also read Mortal Engines by Philip Reeve. I gave this 4 out of 5 stars as well. I loved this, so it's fantastic. I listened to it on audio. It was very, very good. I've since bought all of the books in the series now. This is a quartet, I believe that's how you pronounce it, and this is like it's a YA steampunk dystopian. We're living in a dangerous future where huge motorised cities hunt, attack and fight each other for survival. It's very, very good. We're following several different characters. We're following Tom, Hester, Elizabeth and her dad Valentine, who ends up being a bit of a bad dude. But this ended up fulfilling the prompt for Sam to read a fantasy for Supernaturalathon. I really, really enjoyed this. I need to sit down and watch the film now because I believe it's very, very good. My dad's seen it twice in the last week, so I need to sit down and watch it. Then I read My Brother's Husband Volume 2. This was also part of Dewey's 24-hour readathon. I really, really loved this. It was very, very cute. Oh, sorry, I've got pins and needles in my foot. Really, really sweet. I really enjoyed this. So, so good. And then finally last night I finished off Frankenstein. I didn't finish the whole of this book, just the Frankenstein story, because this has got like 6 other smaller tales inside it as well. But I finished Frankenstein by Junji Ito, which is a graphic novel of Frankenstein. I actually then had to sit up for a couple of hours and watch something else because this freaked me out a little bit, especially being on Halloween and being at home on my own, and I turned all the lights out so that nobody would come knocking on the door. So this, I ended up deciding to use this to read for death, the prompt of death for Supernaturalathon, because obviously Victor Frankenstein started cutting up dead bodies and putting them together to make his zombie, if you like. So there's a lot of death going on in this, and yeah, it was really good. I gave it I think I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. It was really good. I enjoyed it. The illustrations were very detailed. It was creepy. The zombie monster thing was weird as frig. Like, his face really freaked me out, actually. Let me see if I can find a picture. But yeah, it was really good, and I do recommend it if you fancy. Look, like, how creepy is that? I do recommend it if you just fancy running through a bit of a Frankenstein. I don't know how much this follows the actual story by Mary Shelley, but yeah, it was really good. I was surprised at some of the things as well. I hadn't expected them. But yeah, I do recommend it. So those were the 20 books that I read in October. This is going to end up being such a long wrap up. I apologise, but I had a lot of fun with a lot of these books, and I'm really looking forward to November's TBR, because obviously it's the month for Readathon, and I'm super excited. I've got a lot of books on my TBR though. I've got to stop doing this to myself because it's a lot of pressure. But yeah, I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you have, please give it a like down below, and let me know in the comments if you've read any of these, if you've got any you know, if you agree with any of my comments, or if you disagree with any of my comments or whatever. Just let me know. Obviously don't be nasty about it, I'm not here for that, but just let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to chat to you. So yeah, I hope you have enjoyed, and I shall see you next time. Bye for now.